On September 11th, we remembered the lives lost and the heroes who rose in the face of tragedy. Let us continue to honor their memory with unity, resilience, and compassion, wrote Iranian Americans for Liberty on X. Ibrahim Haydari, Director of Education in Nishapur, said that 720 children in the city were unable to attend primary school this year. He added, this year, 44,789 primary school students have been registered in Nishapur, of whom 6,673 are first graders. This represents a decrease of 840 students compared to last year. The denial of education, particularly in underprivileged and deprived areas, remains one of the most serious educational challenges and a clear violation of children's rights in Iran. According to human rights reports, at least 3 million children across the country were deprived of schooling in 2024. Payam Darafshan, lawyer for one of the defendants in the case known as Ekbatan, said the Supreme Court has overturned the verdicts of all defendants in the Ekbatan case. Earlier, 6 protesters arrested in this case had been sentenced to death. The attorney added, according to the ruling, the appeals of all defendants have been accepted and all death sentences in this case have been overturned. During Iran's national uprising after the state killing of Mahsa Amini, a member of the Basij paramilitary named Arman Aliverdi was injured in Ekbatan and died 2 days later. Yashar Tabrizi, a pro-monarchy political activist, has announced that he will present himself to Tabriz Central Prison in the coming days. He has been sentenced by the judiciary of the Islamic Republic to 8 years and 8 months of imprisonment. In a video shared on his Instagram account, Mr. Tabrizi explained that his conviction stems from his opposition to the regime's destructive policies, corruption, and incompetence. He stated, I am being sent to prison because I did not remain silent, because I stood against the plundering of national wealth, the destruction of people's lives, and the suppression of freedoms. My imprisonment is proof of the regime's fear of the truth. He emphasized that the sentence is not just against him personally, but against the right of all people to protest, and against countless families whose loved ones are imprisoned simply for seeking a better life. Mr. Tabrizi also called on the public not to abandon his family or the families of other political prisoners and to continue supporting them. He concluded, I am going to prison, but they cannot silence my voice. The truth does not die behind prison walls. The future belongs to the people. Farhad Avije, a pro-monarchy political activist from Dehdasht, has been sentenced in a new case opened against him by the Islamic Republic to 1 additional year of imprisonment and a fine of 55 million tomans. Previously, Mr. Avije had been sentenced by the Yasuj Revolutionary Court to 2 years and 1 month in prison on charges of insulting the supreme leader and propaganda against the regime. Mr. Avije is currently out of prison under electronic monitoring and will remain in this state until the final resolution of his new case. If the sentence is upheld, he will be required to return to prison. He is one of the detainees of the Iranian national uprising who was arrested following a summons and court appearance at the Yasuj Revolutionary Court. He was later temporarily released on bail set at 500 million tomans. The enforcement branch of the Hamadan Revolutionary Court has summoned 6 Baha'i women from this city to serve their prison terms. Neda Mohabbi, Atefe Zahedi, Faride Ayubi, Noura Ayubi, Zarin Dokht, Ahadzadeh, and Jale Rezai. Their charge, membership in the Baha'i community and teaching and promoting it. Together, Branch 11 of the Hamadan Court of Appeals sentenced them to 38 years and 11 months in prison. According to the HRNA, they must report to the enforcement branch within 10 days. Based on the ruling of Branch 2 of the Hamadan Revolutionary Court, these Baha'i women were arrested. Security forces searched their homes and transferred them to the Hamadan Intelligence Detention Center. After interrogation and case processing, they were released on bail. Kayhan Maqsoodi, a Baha'i resident of Urumiyeh, has remained in detention under uncertain conditions in the custody of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps for 85 days. A source close to his family reported Mr. Maqsoodi has been held in detention and uncertainty for 85 days. He was initially kept in one of Urumiyeh's security detention centers and was transferred to Urumiyeh prison. However, just 2 days later, he was returned to IRGC detention centers for continued interrogation. Since his arrest, Maqsoodi's family has been allowed only 2 brief visits. Moreover, he has so far been denied access to a lawyer. The city of Semirom witnessed a widespread strike by shopkeepers in response to the execution of Mehran Bahramian, one of the protesters from the nationwide uprising. Shops across the city remained closed and the strike took on a citywide scale. The streets of Tehran once again became the scene of protest. Victims of Ramak Khodro who have remained in limbo for the past 9 years gathered in front of the company's offices from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. This comes even though they hold court ruling in their favor, none of which have been enforced. The hunger strike of 4,000 workers at Arak Aluminium Company entered its 42nd day. The workers staged a united protest inside the factory grounds, demanding an immediate response to their grievances as well as the dismissal of the company's CEO and head of security. The streets around Tehran's courthouse were filled with people whose life savings had been plundered for years. Long lines of defrauded citizens clutching case files that have gathered dust for years in the judiciary without resolution stood as a stark symbol of justice denied in the Islamic Republic. Members of the so-called 33 cooperatives gathered outside Parliament, blocking the street and sidewalk to protest decades of mismanagement and repeated broken promises by the government. Workers of Abad Rahan Company in Bandar Abbas went on strike after 4 months without pay. Retired telecom workers in Isfahan, Kurdistan, Gilan, took to the streets to protest poverty, worsening living conditions, and the neglect of their demands.